Starting with Urokodaki Sakonji, Tanjiro has learned under many mentors during his journey as a demon slayer. But what if his teacher was somebody completely different? Someone who operated in the shadows and fought for the forces of evil. In today's video, we'll take a look at what would happen if Tanjiro was raised by the highest ranking demon among the 12 moons, Kokushibo. As outlandish as it may sound, it's not too hard to imagine how this might happen. One night, as Kokushibo is wandering through the woods, he comes across a frail coal burner dancing surrounded by torches. The demon is fascinated by the man and settles down to watch him for a bit before he strikes. As he lies hidden, Kokushibo notices something familiar about the man. His movements follow the same patterns that Yoriichi demonstrated 500 years ago when he practiced the 12 forms of sun breathing. He's wearing the same Hanafuda earrings that Yoriichi wore all those years ago. Now thoroughly interested, Kokushibo homes in on Tanjiro's lungs and realizes this human is using a breathing technique. There's no doubt in his mind. The sun-breathing technique is not dead and has been passed down in the form of the Hinokami Kagura. But from this point onward, Kokushibo keeps an eye out for the Kamado family. Are they the descendants of his brother's bloodline? That had to be impossible, as Uta was the only woman Yoriichi ever loved, and he lived in solitude after her death. The Kamado family could not be demon slayers either, since Kokushibo knew that sun-breathing was not preserved among the Hashira. Before Kokushibo can confront Tanjiro and solve this mystery, disaster strikes when he's not around. The family is attacked by demons, and all members except for the eldest son, Tanjiro, are killed. Kokushibo knows that he should not intervene. It's not what Muzan would want him to do. But as we've seen with the example of Lady Tamayo, some powerful demons can go against the Demon King's wishes. Even though Kokushibo is one of Kibutsuji Muzan's most loyal lieutenants, he believes deeply in legacy. This is evidenced in the warmth that he shows toward Muichiro when he learns that the Mist Hashira is his descendant. When he understands that the sun-breathing that Yoriichi worked so hard to perfect still lives and might die with the boy unless he intervenes, Kokushibo cannot help himself. He takes Tanjiro under his wing and vows to train the boy to surpass human limits and potentially become a demon in the future. But why would the Upper Moon 1 train a human swordsman that could potentially become a demon slayer? Once again, you need only to look at Kokushibo's personality. This demon values strength, skill, and perfection in combat above all else. Kokushibo even spares Akaza after beating him in battle because he loves the challenge. So the prospect of preserving his brother's legacy and creating a disciple with unparalleled strength would motivate Kokushibo to raise Tanjiro and train him as a swordsman. But this brings us to Tanjiro's perspective. How would he feel about being raised by a demon? Now, it's entirely possible that Kokushibo never reveals the truth about his family's death to Tanjiro. However, even if Tanjiro finds out what happened, Kokushibo can always distinguish himself from regular demons. Compared to your regular demons, Kokushibo is a regal and imposing figure, with an aura of mystery about him. He holds nothing but disdain for the lower classes of demons, and would probably be alright with Tanjiro killing them for practice. So with that, this strange relationship between Tanjiro and Kokushibo begins. The Upper Moon 1 is as far as you can get from a loving and empathetic father figure, but despite being strict and emotionally unavailable, he's never cruel or unreasonably harsh toward Tanjiro. As the creator of the legendary moon-breathing technique, he trains Tanjiro in its various forms. Half a millennium of training and his supernatural abilities as a demon make Kokushibo the ultimate master. No mistake goes unnoticed by the Upper Moon 1, and he has the knowledge and mastery to correct these errors as well. Using his ability to access the transparent world, he adapts each stage of the moon-breathing technique to suit Tanjiro's body. Tanjiro often questions Kokushibo's monstrous form, but he never gets a straight answer. He only learns that Kokushibo sacrificed everything in the pursuit of power and perfection. Even though Kokushibo wants to transform Tanjiro into a demon, he knows that now is not the time. He wants the boy to reach the limits of his improvement as a human first, before unlocking the next level of supernatural abilities that being a demon grants. As Tanjiro matures as a swordsman, he begins hunting demons, not as a duty or in pursuit of vengeance, but simply to test his growing skills. As he encounters more powerful enemies, Tanjiro is pushed beyond his regular capabilities, leading him to discover the Hinokami Kagura from within his core memories. He brings this new discovery to Kokushibo and asks for his master's guidance. Using Tanjiro's memories of his father and Kokushibo's memories of his brother Yoriichi, the master and disciple begin piecing together the sun-breathing forms. This new project inspires Kokushibo even further to model Tanjiro in Yoriichi's image. He teaches his student to access the transparent world, giving Tanjiro the capability to sense the weakness of even the most fearsome demons. Tanjiro continues to grow as a swordsman, now alternating between sun and moon breathing based on what the situation demands. Eventually, the Demon Slayer Corps finds evidence of Tanjiro's little adventures. They cannot comprehend the reports they get from the crows about how a regular human being is causing so much death and destruction among the demons. The Hashira are tasked with tracking down the mysterious swordsman in the woods. Tomioka Giyu is the first to find Tanjiro and confront him. The two engage him in battle and realize that they're closely matched. Giyu understands that Tanjiro could be an asset to the Demon Slayers and stops the fight. The two talk for a while, and as Tanjiro tells the story of his family and his new guardian, Giyu realizes that Tanjiro's master is none other than Kokushibo. He explains to Tanjiro that Kokushibo is one of the most vicious demons to ever exist, and a sworn enemy of humanity. Tanjiro struggles with Giyu's revelation as he realizes the mentor who raised him is responsible for countless human deaths, yet he cannot deny the bond they've formed. Now, Tanjiro has a difficult choice ahead of him. Does he prioritize his humanity and join the Demon Slayers, or return to his master out of loyalty? In the meantime, Muzan also receives word of a human who hunts demons, and uses the moon-breathing technique. He connects the dots and summons Kokushibo to the Infinity Castle to interrogate him. Seething with rage, Muzan tells Kokushibo that his actions are nothing short of treason against the Demon King. He gives the Upper Moon One two options: either die at Muzan's hands, or undo his sins by killing Tanjiro himself. Kokushibo stands before Muzan, his loyalty tested like never before. For the first time in centuries, the Upper Moon One feels conflicted. Training Tanjiro rekindled a connection to his human past and his brother's legacy. He cannot discard the child as yet another worthless human life. That night, Tanjiro does not return to his training grounds. Kokushibo deduces that his disciple has learned the truth as well. Refusing to wait any longer, Muzan orders the Upper Moons to find and execute Tanjiro. He cannot risk allowing Tanjiro's mastery of sun and moon breathing to grow any further. As Muzan launches his attack, the showdown takes a similar form to the Battle of Infinity Castle in the original storyline. The Hashira split various targets among themselves and attempt to bring down the demons. However, Tanjiro's training under Kokushibo makes a world of difference in this timeline. The fights against Gyutaro and Daki, or Hantengu's many forms, are nowhere near as devastating. Tanjiro is only truly pushed to his limits when he goes up against Akaza. The third Upper Moon uses his extensive knowledge of martial arts to keep Tanjiro at bay, landing non-fatal blows and slowly sapping away his strength. In a moment of desperation, with death looming in front of him, Tanjiro finds another level of power within himself and unlocks his Demon Slayer mark. The red mark spread across his forehead and chin, much like his master's. With his sword turning bright red and the other Hashira coming in to support him, Tanjiro manages to behead Akaza as well. And with that, only the Upper Moon One remain to challenge Tanjiro and the remaining Hashira. As he stands before his student, Kokushibo reveals the complete truth, his identity as Michikatsu, and how his jealousy of Yoriichi led him down this dark path. In their final confrontation, Tanjiro combines both sun and moon breathing styles into something entirely new. He's supported by the Demon Slayers, but neither Tanjiro nor Kokushibo are affected by their presence. Unlike the original timeline, Kokushibo's swordsmanship comes as no surprise. Every one of those forms has been drilled into Tanjiro's muscle memory as well. The student and master engage in an intense showdown, with neither truly wanting to kill the other. However, as they fight, dusk gradually turns to dawn, and the rays from the sun weaken Kokushibo, making him falter. Before the Upper Moon One can retreat, Tanjiro steps in and lands a decisive blow. As Kokushibo falls, mortally wounded, he smiles, seeing in Tanjiro what could have been had he and his brother worked together instead of apart. With his dying breath, Kokushibo entrusts him with the original aspirations of the Tsugikuni brothers. Finish what we started, defeat Muzan. Tanjiro stands, tears streaming down his face, now wielding the knowledge and power of two opposing legacies. He vows to honor both his families, the one he lost and the one who raised him, by bringing an end to the Demon King once and for all.